Stop scrolling for a second and ask yourself, is the life you're watching through your screen actually the life you want to live? Or are you just chasing a ghost designed by an algorithm to keep you feeling incomplete? If you're tired of feeling like you're falling behind a world that doesn't even exist, stay with me. We need to go deep today. We need to talk about the self-care that Instagram never shows you. The kind that doesn't have a filter, a hashtag, or a price tag. The kind that actually saves your soul instead of just decorating your profile. We live in an era of digital illusions, a time where our reality has been hijacked by a sequence of pixels. Every time we unlock our phones, we are bombarded with a version of wellness that has been sanitized, curated, and packaged into an aesthetic. We see the expensive green juices, the designer yoga sets, and those perfectly lit mornings where the sun hits the bed sheets just right. But let's be honest with each other for a moment. That isn't life. That is a production. That is a set. Behind that 15-second clip of a perfect morning were likely 2 hours of lighting adjustments, 10 failed takes, and a cold cup of coffee that was never actually enjoyed because the creator was too busy editing the caption. We need to address the elephant in the room, the profound and often invisible damage that many influencers inflict on the mental health of their followers. There is a staggering lack of ethical responsibility in the influencer industry. Most of these creators are not health professionals, therapists, or financial advisors, yet they dictate how you should eat, how you should think, and how you should spend your money. Their primary metric isn't your well-being, it's their engagement rate. Their goal isn't to help you grow, it's to keep you watching, even if that watching causes you pain. This is a business model built on the architecture of frustration. By showcasing a life of unattainable perfection, they trigger an ancient psychological mechanism, social comparison. We are wired to look at our tribe to see where we stand. But in the digital age, our tribe has been replaced by multimillionaires with professional lighting crews and plastic surgeons. When you compare your Tuesday morning, with its messy hair, unpaid bills, and tired eyes, to their filtered, high-definition fantasy, the result is an inevitable sense of failure. You aren't failing at life, you are failing at a game that was rigged against you from the start. Many influencers know exactly what they are doing. They understand that insecurity sells. If they can make you feel that your skin isn't clear enough, your house isn't modern enough, or your relationship isn't romantic enough, they create a void in your soul that can only be filled by the products they are paid to promote. This is a predatory cycle. They exploit your vulnerability for profit, ignoring the trail of body dysmorphia, depression, and anxiety they leave in their wake. They post about mental health awareness while simultaneously posting content that triggers the very comparison traps that destroy it. It is a hollow performance of empathy, designed to shield them from criticism while they continue to profit from your discontent. Let's talk about the luxury of the mundane that these platforms try to erase. In the real world, progress is slow and often invisible. It's the 3 years of saving money for a house that doesn't have a reveal video. It's the thousands of hours spent raising a child who doesn't always perform for a camera. Influencers give us the after photo without ever showing the grueling, unglamorous before. This creates a generation of people who feel like failures because they are in the middle of their journey, while everyone else seems to have already reached the finish line. Think about the psychology of the scroll. These platforms are designed using the same principles as slot machines in Las Vegas. The variable reward of a new notification or a beautiful image keeps our dopamine levels spiked, leaving us in a state of constant craving. We are being trained to seek external validation for our internal experiences. If we go for a walk in the woods and don't post a picture of the trees, did it even happen? If we cook a beautiful meal and don't share it, was it still delicious? The answer, of course, is yes. In fact, it might have been even more delicious because you were tasting the food instead of looking at it through a lens. But the veil is finally lifting. Across the globe, people are starting to wake up. We are beginning to see the cracks in this fake digital landscape that has already damaged the mental health of millions. We are realizing that the anxiety we feel when we see a perfect post isn't inspiration. It's a signal that we are being sold a lie. We've spent too long looking at screens and not enough time looking into the eyes of the people sitting across from us. We've traded the warmth of a real, stumbling conversation for the cold, calculated validation of a like or a share. We have become spectators of our own lives rather than the protagonists. Don't get me wrong, social media has its place. It can be a beautiful bridge. It's a wonderful tool when used with intention. To find a long-lost childhood friend, to see photos of family members living across the ocean, or to find genuine communities of support for rare hobbies or struggles. But we must remain alert. We must be the guardians of our own peace. We have to recognize the exact moment when the tool starts using us. When you feel that twitch to check your notifications every 5 minutes, or when you feel a sense of dread because your post didn't get enough engagement, that is the algorithm winning and your humanity losing. We must resist the spiral of envy and the fear of missing out that keeps us tethered to a digital tether. True well-being is not a trend, it isn't a vibe, and it definitely isn't a modish aesthetic that changes every season. True well-being is a series of simple, quiet, and often boring choices made when no one is watching and no camera is recording. Real wealth isn't found in a luxury vacation, captured for the sake of making others jealous. Real wealth is found in the harmony of your home on a mundane Tuesday evening. It's found in the smell of a home-cooked meal that doesn't look perfect, but tastes like love. It's found in a deep, uninterrupted conversation with your spouse, where you both lose track of time. It's found in the quality time you spend sitting on the carpet, playing with your children, where your phone is in another room and your heart is fully present in the now. Let's dive deeper into what real life looks like when the cameras are off. Real life is laundry that needs folding. It's a sink full of dishes after a wonderful dinner with friends. It's the sound of rain on the roof while you're tucked under a blanket that isn't color-coordinated with your rug. It's the imperfections that make a home a home. In the digital world, we are taught to hide the clutter. In the real world, the clutter is often a sign of a life being lived, of projects being worked on, of children playing, of memories being made. There is an incredible dignity in the ordinary that influencers will never understand. There is dignity in the father who works a 9 to 5 to provide for his family, even if he doesn't have a side hustle or a passive income stream to brag about. There is dignity in the mother who spends her day changing diapers and teaching kindness, even if her house doesn't look like a museum. These are the true heroes of our society, not the people with the most followers. It is more than okay if you don't fit the social standards dictated by a Silicon Valley algorithm. In fact, there is a profound rebellious power in being ordinary. There is no shame in a life that isn't Instagrammable. Happiness is found in the steam of a dinner you cooked yourself, using ingredients you chose, sitting around a table with your family eating real simple food. You aren't eating for the camera, you are eating for nourishment and connection. That is real food in every sense of the word. It's about the laughter that happens between bites, the stories told about the day and the silence that isn't awkward because everyone is truly present. Let's talk about the things they don't post. Let's talk about the peace of mind that comes from being financially responsible. In a world that screams, spend more to be more, true self-care is actually saving your hard-earned money. It's having that emergency fund that allows you to sleep at night, knowing that if something goes wrong, you are prepared. It's refusing to buy things you don't need with money you don't have to impress people you don't even like. The flashy lifestyle we see online is often built on a foundation of debt and insecurity. True freedom is the ability to say no to the next shiny object because you already have enough. True self-care is the confidence to wear the same outfit to 5 different occasions because you value substance over fast fashion. It's the realization that you are not a mannequin for the latest trends. You are a human being with a soul. It's the joy of losing yourself in a physical book for 3 hours, feeling the paper between your fingers, away from the constant pings and blue light of notifications. It's realizing that your worth is not a metric. Your value cannot be measured in followers, views, or comments. Your joy does not need a digital filter to be valid. We must also talk about the value of boredom. In our modern world, we have deleted boredom from our lives. Every spare second, waiting for the elevator, standing in line at the grocery store, sitting at a red light, we reach for our phones. We have lost the ability to simply be with our own thoughts. But boredom is where creativity is born. It's where self-reflection happens. When we constantly fill our minds with other people's content, we lose the sound of our own voice. True self-care is reclaiming those small pockets of time for silence. The most precious thing we have is our time. Time is the only currency you can never earn back once it's spent, and the most tragic thing we can do with our lives is waste that precious time trying to look like someone else. We are living in a world of copies, but you were born an original. Every hour spent scrolling through a stranger's life is an hour stolen from your own. Imagine what you could do with those hours. You could learn a craft, plant a garden, write a letter, or simply sit on your porch and watch the sunset without trying to capture it. Think of the legacy you want to leave. When you are 80 years old, will you remember the reels you scrolled through? Or will you remember the smell of your child's hair, the way your partner's hand feels in yours, and the deep satisfaction of a life lived with integrity? The algorithm doesn't care about your legacy. It only cares about your next click. But you should care. You should care deeply about who you are becoming in the quiet moments. So, I invite you to step back. Look around your room right now. Don't look at it through a viewfinder. Look at the textures, the colors, the dust motes dancing in the light. Look at the people you love. Really look at them. Notice the way their eyes crinkle when they laugh. Notice the sound of their breath. Look at your own hands. These hands have worked, held, and lived. This is your reality. It might be messy, it might be loud, it might be quiet, or it might be imperfect, but it is yours. And that makes it infinitely more valuable than any perfect image on a screen. The digital world is a desert of more, but the real world is an oasis of enough. We are constantly told that we need more clothes, more followers, more productivity, more optimization. But what if you are already enough? What if your life, exactly as it is right now, is full of hidden treasures that you've been too distracted to see? Choose the real world. Choose the unpolished moments. Choose the authentic laughter that doesn't care how it looks. Choose the quiet moments of reflection. It's much more beautiful out here, in the light of reality, than it could ever be behind the glow of a smartphone. It's time to take back your life. It's time to stop performing for an audience and start living for yourself, your family, and your peace. Let's commit to a different kind of feed. Feed your soul with nature. Feed your mind with deep thoughts. Feed your heart with genuine connection. Let's be the generation that looks up. Let's be the people who aren't afraid of a little bit of silence or a little bit of clutter. Let's be the ones who value a worn-out pair of jeans because of the adventures we've had in them, rather than a brand new pair because of the label on them. True freedom is when you no longer feel the need to prove to the world that you are happy because you are too busy actually being happy. It's the moment you realize that the most important parts of your life will never make it onto the internet, and that's exactly why they are sacred. Let's choose the truth. Let's choose ourselves. Let's choose to be fully, vibrantly alive in the only world that matters, the one right in front of us. If you love this story and want to hear more like it, please hit that subscribe button. It truly means the world to us and helps us grow. And hey, while you're at it, let's aim for 50 likes on this video. Help us smash that goal.